The story begins with Justin, who lives in the kingdom of Babylonia, once home of the bravest knights of all until knights were outlawed and replaced by lawyers after the king's death. Being the son of the queen's chief lawyer, Justin is expected to follow in his father's footsteps, where he is yet to take a big exam to get into law school. Instead of studying, Justin spends his time reading the valiant acts and achievements of the kingdom's greatest knights. Little did his father Reginald know, Justin has long dreamt of becoming a Knight of Valor like his grandfather Sir Roland. At breakfast, his father was thrilled to give him the news that he has already been accepted by the law school, which was a privilege given to him given his father's reputation. Seeing his father's enthusiastic about law school, Justin confronted him and claims he doesn't want to be a lawyer and prefers to become a knight instead. Dissatisfied with his father's reaction, Justin went to visit Lillian, his grandmother. She claims Justin would make for a terrible lawyer given that he is too honest and a bad liar. Justin claims that he doesn't want to go, but worries that he would hurt his father if he doesn't go to law school. Unsure of what he should do, his grandmother showed him Sir Roland's armor, and for the first time noticed that his grandfather's sword was missing. Justin decides to go on a quest to find his grandfather's sword and bring it back home. Before he leaves, Lillian gives him a key and told him to bring it to the Tower of Wisdom so they would train him as a knight. Before he sets off on his journey, Justin visits his childhood crush, Lara, who hails from a wealthy family. Lara has been trying on outfits she would be wearing for her coming-of-age party. He explains that he won't be going to school with her as he intends to train as a knight, and will return to dedicate his life to protecting her. Before he leaves, Lara was so self-absorbed that she accidentally throws a sock at Justin, to which he mistakes it for a token of her love, and promises to return it to her. In the outskirts of the kingdom, the once noble knight, Heraclio, was banished, forced to live in exile alone. In his solitude, he was joining forces with the same people who he once swore to fight. Although he and the knights have served the kingdom faithfully, he believes that the kingdom has failed them. Soda later walks in on Heraclio, to which he has been scheming with to overthrow the kingdom. Heraclio claims that they need an army. Later that night, Soda breaks into a prison with his brothers and takes out the guards. They then convince the prisoners to join their cause by promising them wealth and fortune. The next day, Justin leaves home to train as a knight and drops by the Broken Eagle Inn where knights were said to go before they embark on their journey. There, he meets the weary bardmaid Talia and the talentless wizard Melquiades, who draws him a map to the Tower of Wisdom. The inn's bodyguards Igor and Slamsky show up at the bar demanding for some drinks. When Talia refuses, they try to roughhouse her, but Justin calls them out and attempts to defend her honor. Justin doesn't stand a chance, who gets beaten up, but Talia could handle herself just fine. Their boss shows up and breaks up the fight. Back at the castle, Lillian meets with the queen, who fears that she may have made a big mistake when she signed the decree on banning knights, after hearing a group of villains have just broken out criminals from prison. She fears that they are defenseless without the knights. Clorex, an armor polisher and an opportunistic thief, overhears their conversation and decides to steal an armor for himself to woo the town's women. Clorex later shows up at the Broken Eagle Inn with the stolen armor, claiming to be a knight and charging customers money for his autograph. Talia is threatened by her boss to keep quiet as Clorex is good for business. After a grueling trek into the mountains, Justin has finally arrived at the Tower of Wisdom. He later meets monks Legantier and Braulio and knights Sir Blucher after presenting the key his grandmother gave him. They initially thought he would not make it given his small body. Blucher later leads Justin into the tower, where he explains that Braulio has been playing a game with another order from the Far East. Braulio claims that 4 generations have played this one single game for the last 450 years. A hawk arrives bringing the Order's next move, which took out its dragon. Furious, he orders Justin to ring a bell and call Legantier when he accidentally lets go of the chandelier. Thanks to Blucher's quick thinking, he saves the game by throwing a spear to keep the chandelier in place. Braulio falls in shock after almost losing the game. Braulio later takes Justin outside for some quick sword training, and despite his old age, Braulio is quite a master when it comes to the sword. He even teaches all his tricks and feints, but no matter how many times Justin falls, he keeps standing back up. Legantier worries if they should train Justin as he's far too young to become a knight. The next day, Justin continues his training, starting with clearing an obstacle course. He then later trains his archery skills with Braulio by shooting an arrow at watermelons. Reading history books with Legantier and swordsmanship training with Sir Blucher, eventually Justin made great strides in his training that he is even able to do them blindfolded. Seeing the improvement Justin had in training, Braulio brought him to the Hall of Heroes, a hall dedicated to the honorable Knights of Valour. Justin recognized most of them in his book when they came across an empty podium, who Braulio explains they have removed given that he no longer deserves to be there. Justin suspects it to be Sir Heraclio, his grandfather, Sir Roland's murderer, to which he believes is why his father hates knights. Braulio tells him the story of how Sir Roland died. Back then, the knights defended the walls of Rule against invaders when their king died. The queen, left alone, was heartbroken and struggled to govern over its people. Reginald, his father, decided to become a lawyer, and it wasn't long when the queen relied heavily on him to help her rule the kingdom. The queen believed that the changes they have made would bring an end to the kind of fighting that killed the king, so she signed the fateful decree that outlawed the knights. Sir Heraclio accused the queen of being weak for giving in to the lawyers who he believed to have corrupted her. When he lunged at the queen and Reginald, Sir Roland pulls out his sword and defended them, and fought to the death. Roland managed to disarm Heraclio, but he hesitated, and Heraclio used that hesitation to grab his sword and stab him with it. Hence, the tale of how the most noble hero that this land has ever known paid the highest price to save his son and his kingdom. Heraclio is thrilled to see his army of criminals and orders Soda to recruit more men. He explains that they no longer have the gold to expand their army, so Soda plans on kidnapping the daughter of Lord Brazenhat, said to be the richest man in the land, at her coming-of-age party. While the Grand Masters compliment Justin's massive improvement to their training, they later hear terrible news from the Order in the north, who claims they have seen Heraclio amassing an army. They fear that without the knights, the kingdom is defenseless. Blucher volunteers, but Legantier refuses, claiming that he is too old. Blucher suggests on bringing Justin, claiming that he's ready, but Legantier refuses, claiming that it's too soon for Justin to experience actual combat. Blucher suggests to testing him, to which Legantier agrees under the condition that should he fail, he is to return home immediately. For his final test, Justin is to face a dragon, but in the absence of a magical creature, he has to face a makeshift dragon, Gustav the alligator. Braulio has retrofitted it with mechanical wings and a flamethrower. Justin tries throwing his lance at it, but misses to hit his target. Justin runs at Braulio as he was trying to dodge the fire and broke the controller. Gustav hit the tower, which made the chandelier break loose and destroyed the game Braulio was playing. With the order from the north, Braulio went into shock, which made Justin furious, so he faced Gustav head-on and planted the lance at the ground to jolt him up and grabbed his tail. He hits the target with a piece of the lance, which made the device stop working, and they both fall and crash land. The tower started falling apart, which made Braulio even more furious when they find Justin unconscious. Thanks to Legantier and Blucher's combined magic, they managed to heal Justin's injuries. He's later sent home by Legantier, but not before Blucher gave him his sword. Before Justin went home, he stopped by the inn to see Talia. He admits that he flunked his training, but is still glad that he tried. He later finds Clorex pretending to be a knight and charging customers with his autograph. Igor and Slamsky eagerly start another fight with Justin. Tired of Clorox and the inn, Talia helps Justin defeat them and quits her job. However, she is disheartened when she learns that Justin has feelings for his childhood friend Lara. Justin worries that he would return as a loser, so Talia suggests that she and Malequides will accompany him to Lara's party. Later at the party, Justin finds out that Lara is being escorted by Clorex. Soda and his brothers later show up at the party to kidnap Lara for ransom. Justin tries stopping them from taking her, but he gets hit with a paralytic agent from the tip of the hidden needle in Soda's ring. When he tried to fight back, he could barely stand, and they start ganging up on him. His father tried to save him and points a sword at them, to which they release Justin to him. With no one left to stand up to them, they capture Lara and declare that should her father want her back, he will need to pay 10,000 gold coins for her. Out of nowhere, Clorox accidentally beheads the statues when he tries to cut off a turkey's leg. Soda and their brothers retreated when they realized that there is a knight. Before Lara left the party, she ridiculed Justin at his pathetic attempt to protect her while clinging to Clorox's arms. When Lara and Clorox were alone, she claims how impressed she was with him after he scared off the kidnappers and then kissed him on the cheek to show her appreciation. She later explained how insulted she was at the kidnappers for only asking a measly 10,000 gold coins when her father could have paid more. She claims her father would even pay 1,000,000 gold coins for her, which tempted Clorox with the ransom money that he kidnapped her instead, and brought her to Heraclio. The next day, Justin is dreading having to face reality and go to law school like his father wanted him to. On the way to school, the carriage is stopped by what seems to be a ruckus in town. About the missing Lady Brazenhat, the townspeople are furious that the justice officers haven't started their search as they are waiting for the family to file a missing persons report. Talia later talks to Justin and explains the situation to him, which urges him to want to find and save Lara, albeit his father's objections. While checking for any leads, they run into Malequides, who claims to have visions of Lara in a dark tower. Justin convinces him to lead them to where she is, but when it seems that they were led to nowhere, they finally reach their destination. Justin and Talia sneaked into the tower where they find Lara and overhear Heraclio's plan of overthrowing the kingdom. Having been discovered, Justin and Talia fight their way through and discover it was Clorox who kidnapped Lara. When they chase after him, Soda and his brothers confront them, but they too were defeated by Justin and Lara. Heraclio later shows up, and when Justin refuses his offer to join his army, he orders his men to kill them. Although surrounded, Justin and Talia tried to fight their way through, but they were outnumbered and quickly captured when Blucher arrives with Gustav the flying alligator. He scares off Heraclio's men into thinking Gustav was a dragon while he confronts Heraclio himself. Blucher struggled against Heraclio given his old age that he got stabbed through the shoulder. Justin stands up for his master and confronts Heraclio by himself, while Talia defeats Clorox in a fistfight and saves Lara. Heraclio was initially winning the fight when Justin found his bravery when he found his grandfather's sword thrusted into the ground. With it, he was able to defeat Heraclio, who tricked Justin by pretending to plead for his life. When Justin lowered his sword, Heraclio threw a rock at him and kicked him against the water wheel. Their fight came to an end when Heraclio slipped and fell into the water, while Justin clings dearly to his grandfather's sword, which was stuck in the water wheel. After having defeated his grandfather's murderer and reclaiming his sword, Justin returns to the others, who finds Blucher dying. Melquiades placed his arms on him and urges Justin, the only knight there, to put his arms on his for the magic to work. When they thought it didn't work, Blucher was alive and well. The next day, the kingdom's Hall of Heroes was filled as Justin walked in, donned in white armor. He presents himself to the queen, who has knighted him for his achievements after his father has finally accepted him for who he is, along with the overturning of the decree that banned the knights. After becoming a knight, Justin returned Lara's sock to her, while dedicating himself to Talia, who he later realized was the one he truly loved. Later, the Grand Masters of the Tower of Wisdom erected a statue of Justin in the Hall of Heroes and broke the wall to unveil a new hall for the next generation of knights, while welcoming a new age of heroes. The end. Thank you for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap that bell icon to be notified about our latest videos. We'll see you next time.